we all have talents. Things that we, for one reason or another, are gifted at. The luckiest among us get to discover this talent, and the luckiest of those get to show it to the world. Niels Albert was one of these people. The Belgian cyclocross racer was a star from the moment he entered the elite ranks, capable of beating legends like Niels and conquering the sport's most demanding courses. But sometimes talent isn't enough. Sometimes the cruelest opponent can be yourself. This is the story of the cyclocross king who lost his crown far too soon. Born near Antwerp in 1986, Niels Albert was destined for two-wheel greatness from childhood. Albert began with BMX racing, becoming Belgian national champion twice before moving to cyclocross. The transition was seamless. It was his junior world championship in 2004 that announced his arrival on the international stage. By the start of the 2008-2009 season, Albert was making his debut in elite competition, and the cycling world was about to witness something special. This wasn't just another promising young rider. This was someone who could go toe-to-toe with Niels, an act comparable to David fighting Goliath. Albert was leading the Super Prestige Series, establishing himself as cycling's next big thing. His technical skills were refined, almost innate. Watching him navigate the technical sections looked effortless, but the power behind that smooth style was devastating to his competitors. Then, disaster struck. While training for the Gavere cross race, Albert crashed into a tree. What initially seemed like a minor incident nearly took him out for good. He had ruptured his spleen and spent 3 days in the hospital, unable to ride for 6 weeks. An injury that could have ruined his entire breakthrough season. See, for any cyclist, 6 weeks off the bike during peak season is catastrophic. For your young rider trying to establish himself at the elite level, it could mean the end of dreams before they've properly begun. But Albert was made of stronger stuff than most. The crash changed him, but not in the way you might expect. Quote, "It has changed me as a man. Not that I'm happier now, but I enjoy it more. Each victory, each good day of training, even if it is in the pouring rain and I come back frozen stiff." When he returned to competition towards the end of the season, he won a race within a week. The experience hadn't broken him. It had revealed the inner strength that would define his career. Just weeks after that comeback victory, Albert found himself at his first Elite World Championships, wearing the Belgian national team kit alongside his childhood heroes. The 2009 World Championships in Hoogeride represented everything surreal about Albert's rapid rise. This was his first appearance in the Men's Elite World Championship, and he immediately managed to get the most out of it. Quote, "Yeah, that's really strange. Watching on TV, I always saw Baruelens and Niels, my really big heroes. But now, at my age of 23, I have that strange feeling every week since I am riding against them. It is not a bad feeling, but a strange feeling." The race itself was a masterclass in tactical cycling. Albert overcame the pressure of racing against established stars like Niels and Zdeněk Stybar to claim his first world title. But for Albert, the victory represented something more profound than athletic achievement. "I was thinking that this is really crazy. I don't believe it. Such a low, then high. 2 months before World Championships, I was lying in the hospital thinking maybe I can't even race. It was like riding from a very low point to a very high point on top of the hill in just 100 meters. You are making it up the tough climb and you are thinking about winning. It's a very nice feeling." The emotional journey from hospital bed to world champion in just months captured everything that made him special. Not just his physical talents, but his mental resilience and perspective. Despite winning worlds and becoming Belgium's newest cycling superstar, Albert was determined to remain unchanged by success. His approach to fame was refreshingly humble in a sport that can create larger-than-life personalities. Quote, "I don't want to be a hero for other riders. I want to only be Niels, a normal 23-year-old guy where everything's a little bit slow and easy and relaxed. Not a big hero from Belgium. I think that is the best." This grounded approach served him well during the seasons that followed. While he continued having success during regular season competition, the next 2 World Championships belonged to Stibar. The patience paid off. By the 2011-2012 season, Albert was having his best year yet, racking up podiums and wins left and right. Everything was building towards the World Championships, one of his favorite courses, where the endless sand dunes would provide the perfect stage for his particular skill set. 2012 World Championships saw Albert take his 2nd world title with a solo victory that showcased everything that made him special as a racer. When the race got underway, Albert was the first of the Belgian team to attack and open up a gap. In a display of team tactics, his Belgian teammates held back from chasing, honoring the national colors and waiting until Albert had enough space that they could start racing among themselves for the remaining podium spots. Watching Albert conquer the sands was like witnessing a master craftsman at work. His technique through the dunes was refined poetry, a skill set that seemed almost innate. Every line choice, every dismount and remount, every tactical decision was executed with precision that made the impossible look effortless. There is no doubt throughout the entire race, Albert controlled every moment, managing his effort perfectly to arrive at the finish line with enough energy to celebrate what he knew was the biggest victory of his career. Quote, "I thought about that the last time I wrote it, thinking that it was now mine. This feeling is unbeatable. It's the biggest win of my career. Now my season is a success." At just 26 years old, Albert had 2 world champs to his name and appeared to be entering his prime years. The future looked unlimited. May 19th, 2014. At the age of 28, Niels Albert announced his retirement from professional cycling at an emotional press conference in Belgium. Doctors had discovered a problem with his heart through a routine checkup in March. Scar tissue buildup caused by an infection, leading to cardiac arrhythmia. Albert wasn't sure when he had contracted this infection. It could have been weeks, months, or even a year earlier. But the scar tissue could prove fatal if he continued racing. The more he trained, the worse the condition could become. The diagnosis was devastating in its finality. This wasn't an injury that would heal with time or surgery. It wasn't a setback that could be overcome with determination and training. This was his body telling him that the sport he loved and the talent that defined him had become a threat to his life. Quote, "I cursed the doctors in the past few weeks, but now I know that their checkups mean that I will have a long life. In these hard circumstances, I want to thank everyone who were on my side during my career. I felt that after my first 6 years as a pro, everything started falling into place. I will have to find solace in the fact that my sport has given me so much and that it made so many people happy. I have given my all for my sport." But retirement from competition didn't end Albert's relationship with cycling. Instead, it evolved into something different but equally meaningful. He transitioned into team management, working for a while with Wout van Aert, and bringing the same attention to detail that had defined his racing career. Quote, "He has a very big role in my success. He always thinks about things that I don't think about. He's really into the details, and he can keep me very calm before the races, because he knows what it is to be in the front of an important race, so he knows what to say in the last moment." This evolution from competitor to mentor represents perhaps Albert's most important legacy. His experience as a world champion, combined with his perspective of both triumph and adversity, has made him an invaluable guide for the next generation. We'll never know how many more world championships Niels Albert might have won. At 28, as his technical skills were at their peak and his tactical intelligence fully developed, he could have dominated cyclocross for another decade. Perhaps that speculation misses the point. Albert's real legacy isn't measured in championships that might have been, but in the impact he had during his time at the top and the influence he continues to exert on the sport. In a sport that celebrates often only the winners, Albert's legacy suggests that how you compete and what you do after matters as much as whether you win. That grounded 23-year-old who just wanted to be Niels became something more valuable than just a cycling hero. He became an example of how to find purpose and contribution even when circumstances force you away from your dreams. Sometimes, the greatest victory is discovering that your talents can serve the sport in ways you never expected.